Okay, this is part 4 and the most interesting part of the story. So get ready. So this is about my dad. Great man, amazing, best father, told me everything that I ever needed, molded me into the person I've become today. I have no credit in the way I act, in the way in the way I am today. You know, my character, my spirit, it's all him. Obviously Allah's first, then him. So I'm really grateful for him, and I'm going to share his incredible story with you guys. So as you know, after Zainab passed away, we went to Pakistan for a month, and you know, pretty good time there. Baba was only 43, 42, 43ish here. In Pakistan, he started to get symptoms, sickness, lots of nausea, loss of appetite, loss of weight. A lot of weight was lost, back pain. A lot of people were like, muscle, you might have pulled a muscle, you know, he's a very athletic guy, you might have moved a disc or whatever it might be. So naturally we came back and we, you know, contacted doctors immediately. Now the thing with Baba is he waits until the pain gets absolutely unbearable, then he will take medicines. So for a long time he refused to go to the doctor. He was like, it's just muscle pain. He bought all these muscle creams and these belts and whatever, and because, you know, again, a very athletic guy, so he was like, oh, I might have just pulled a muscle. But mind you, he has been doing sports for his entire life, never has he had muscle pain like this. So I kept telling him it's best to probably get it checked out, and he kept going nope, and then my mom had to force him out the house, you know, to get it checked. This man got kicked like a damn football from RVI to Freeman to the GP. I'm not even joking. Like a little, you know, like a little test kind of thing, just experimental kind of thing. Some people would say, oh, you pulled a muscle, try this. Some people will say, oh, you know, it might just be your discs, they moved, it might be kidney stones. And I'm like, kidney stone in your back? I don't think that correlates, but okay. After months and months and months of pain, this guy, they finally decided to do a CT scan, and my dad and his friend was in the hospital. My mom was staying with us at home. So my dad has 2 transplant kids, me and Fatma, and Baba. Doctors came out and they released the bad news. They said that he had stage 4 prostate cancer, spread it. Couldn't be removed, it couldn't be cured, however it could be treated. Obviously constant chemotherapy, constant pain, constant medications, you know, he kind of saw the future. My dad did not flinch. He was shocked. He did not cry. He did not be grateful towards Allah. He just said, and I quote from the Quran, Surah Rahman, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ, which translates to, what favors of Allah will you deny? This man's faith on Allah, on Islam, was so high that the first words that came out of his mouth were that aunt. The doctor was a Muslim, and when he heard those words come out of his mouth, because normally apparently they cry and they say all kinds of stuff, the doctor cried too. Like, you could see that he was emotional. And Baba was like, the first thing Baba worried about was, how am I going to tell my wife? What am I going to do for my kids? Not himself. No, he was never the selfish man. If this man had 10 pounds, he would give the 9 to the homeless and keep the 1 for himself. He was that kind of person. He helped so many people in front of us and so many people that we don't even know about. And he was like the best man ever. Like, genuinely world's best man that I could ever think of. I'm not just saying this because he's my dad. I'm saying this because of what he's done, his attitudes, his faith on his religion, the person that he shaped me into. Without him, I am nothing. Like, genuinely, without him, I could never be whatever I am today. So thank you, Baba, and thank you, Allah, for giving me such a wonderful dad. So yeah, stage 4 cancer spreaded. Mama found out, and Mama absolutely broke down. She was like, we just lost our daughter, and it hadn't even been 5 months, and we're now getting this news. And then I was there, and I was comforting Mama. I was like, you know, it's Allah's plan. This is just another test. We've already been through 3. Come on, we can do it again. You know, it's funny, people, you know, if they become a millionaire, they're like, this is no correlation, why am I even gonna say this, but they're like, oh, if you make your first million, the rest is easy. So I was like, we've already passed our first test, the rest should be easy. Come on, we can do it. So I was like that to Mom, especially after Baba got cancer. I just kind of had to, you know, I mean, I was always very supportive, I was always very positive. Again, my dad's upbringing, but this time I just had to be a little bit more present in the moment, you know, instead of playing with toys, I would, you know, help Mama in the kitchen, or like make her, you know, comfort her, just talk to her, all that kind of stuff. Fatma too, she would be like, oh, if she would see Mama crying, she would run to the bathroom with her little tiny legs and her little cute body, and she would get some tissues and she would run downstairs. She would do like a little wall downstairs, and she would get Mama some tissue, and it would be the cutest thing ever. And yeah, I was just, while Mama was worrying about Baba, I would like help with Fatma and, you know, just ease her pain wherever I could, because honestly I think she's been through the most. So yeah, stage 4 cancer, and then it was diagnosed in 2020, sorry, literally not even 2020, yeah, 2020. My sister passed away, I'm pretty sure October the 13th, whatever, October the 13th, Monday, whatever Monday it was, that's the day she passed. And then about April, Baba got diagnosed with cancer. So yeah, it was a shock, but you know, we moved on. You know, Baba got through chemotherapy, alhamdulillah, cancer went down. And you know how Desis, they try to, you know, kind of get involved. You know, this man, there was this one time where this guy told Baba that, you know, XYZ isn't good for you. He stopped eating XYZ, and this guy would only drink smoothies from fruits and vegetables, saying it should bring cancer levels down, you know, all this kind of stuff. There would be arguments between my mom and him, because my mom would be like, you need your fats, you need your proteins, you know, you can't just dismiss every single food from your diet, that's not healthy, all that kind of stuff. And then Baba would be like, no, this cancer expert, he said that, you know, this protein causes cancer, like, to be more aggressive, so we're not gonna do this, you know, why can't you be supportive, all that kind of stuff. A very typical fight, and you can understand from where both parts of the argument are coming from. My dad, he just wanted to get rid of it. Who doesn't want to get something that might kill you anytime? My mum was trying to look out for him too, so you could see it was a very tense atmosphere a lot of the times. And lucky us, 2 years later, Baba got diagnosed with a different type of cancer. So yeah, 2 types of cancers. It begins with an S, and I don't actually know what it was. And this man didn't complain again, not again. Just said whatever Allah wants will happen, and if this is what Allah wants, then I shall put up with it. And this cancer actually broke his spine. If you know, the spine has like T1 to T12. It broke his T12 area completely. It was a very aggressive cancer. It was a very fast acting cancer. So yeah, that broke his spine, and he couldn't walk for ages. He was in the hospital for about 6 weeks. So that was a really tough time too, just seeing him in so much pain. This guy who was always athletic, who was always so positive, uplifting, you know, just amazing, and seeing him bedridden, like literally disabled, killed me, killed my mom too. Despite all of this, Baba still fought, still did his business. He still was athletic, even though he was in pain. He would be holding his back because he would be in pain, and he's like, Sana, I'm gonna go to badminton, I'm gonna go beat some people in badminton. And we would be like, you are in pain, you're literally clutching your back, and you want to go play badminton. And this guy would be like, nope, we gotta beat these people today, we gotta win, these people are coming, I'm gonna show them who's the real, like, king, whatever. Yeah, and I'd be like, okay, Baba, you do you. And then this guy would come back home and he would complain that he would be in pain, and we'd be like, well, didn't we tell you that? So yeah, it was just really funny. And then he would do it all over again, and we would just be like, whatever makes you happy, like, okay, if you want to do that, you do that. So yeah, first few years of cancer were fine, you know, cancer levels went up and down, and then he had chemo two times within about 3-4 years. Then his cancer levels were getting worse, so they suggested doing trials on him, not chemo, a different type of way to, you know, kind of shrink the cancer. That did work for a bit. The thing with Baba is his cancer was really aggressive and really stubborn, exactly like he was. So he was devastated to find out that his cancer was coming back, and he was on trials, and the doctors were like, oh, when a patient's on trials, this is normally the last option that we have left for them, so, you know, just kind of brace yourself. So I think trials were done in about 2024. Alhamdulillah, that was pretty good too. Then in 2025, his cancer levels were going high again. You know how if you, I really hope not, but if you do have anyone that is a cancer patient, you kind of know how it is. You've always got like this kind of shadow of death behind you. I know everyone does and everyone feels it, but like when you have a certain disease, you kind of know that it might just take you any second, any night, any daytime, you know. It was kind of there. So that was for my dad. So his cancer level kept going up and down, and in 2025 it went really high again, so they suggested doing chemo. Now this is the weird thing, the 2 previous chemos that he had were on really high, like the highest, like the strongest ones. This chemotherapy was one of the lowest ones, and we were like, if he can take the high ones, he can take the low ones. Little did we know, the worst pain was about to come for this guy. He did a few rounds of chemo, perfectly fine. I was doing my GCSEs at this time, 2025, and the chemo affected his kidney tube, begins with a U, Utria, that's what it's called. Now he got an infection in that tube, not the kidney but in the tube, and the doctors could not find out what it was for a really long time. They were like, oh, we don't actually know what it is. They stopped chemo, but they didn't actually know what it is. My mom, being the expert in this, she has obviously been in hospitals for like about 16 years now, so she was like, she just suggested, what if the chemo hit that pipe? And the doctors were like, no, that's never happened, like that's not possible. And we were like, having 3 girls in a row with the same mitochondrial disease was also not possible, and look what happened. He's like, yeah, but I haven't seen this in my case, all that kind of stuff. And then we were just like, okay, but just get a scan done, let's see what happens. And this guy comes with the scan, and he's like, well, it seems that the kidney tube was actually hit by the chemo, and they found out months later after my mom suggested it. My mom suggested the kidney tube got hit in about June, and they found it in August, which is insane to me. How just someone's wife is telling you how to do your job, is gave you the diagnosis, gave you the reason, and you're just still trying to find it. The thing with these people is, from our experience, they followed the book so disgustingly by the book that these people forget common sense. And we have experienced this a lot, from it's just a flu when her heart was failing, to kidney tubes, to you know, Fatma's infections, all of these infections. The doctors were just by the book. My mom would be telling the doctors, when Fatma was in hospital, she would be telling the doctors, okay, this might have happened, this is what you need to do, this is the antibiotic you need to give her, this is what like she needs to have done. And the doctors would be like, you know what, that's a really good idea, yeah, you're right. And my mom would be like, because I've been in this field for ages, I know what I'm doing, just listen to me. So the doctor, it's just crazy how they're so by the book. Sometimes they actually forget common sense. Like, it's really bad. Genuinely, it's really bad. So we got you know, he got admitted in the hospital. He was in hospital from June all the way to like September, November, and the pain that we saw him in with this whole new kidney thing was unimaginable. I'm not even joking. He would be screaming in pain, and this guy never complains, never does anything. Like I said, he was the bravest man. This guy would be on the verge of tears because of the pain. It was that bad, screaming. I would wake up in the middle of the night to him grunting because of pain. I would have to check up on him in the middle of the night just to see if he's sleeping well, because you can't tolerate your dad or your parent or your family or your loved one in pain. Now obviously I had a really special connection with my dad. I loved him a lot. We were really close. I think Fatma's more close with my mum, but I'm definitely more close with my dad. And literally, oh my god, he would be screaming in pain sometimes. And I remember the kidney infection thingy-majiggy was so bad that at the time he couldn't sleep all nights because he would wake up, vomit, go back to sleep for like 10 minutes and then wake up, and then his pain would hit him so bad he would take like tablets, and then he would vomit again, and it was just a whole cycle. And every day it kept getting worse and worse and worse, and every day I remember this man, he would say, he'd be in pain. Despite all the pain, he'd be like, I need to pray, I need to pray. You know, even if he couldn't pray like properly going down, he would pray like while sitting on a chair, or he would pray while lying in the bed. Even though he's in pain, he would be praying either through, you know, namaz, or just, you know, always constantly remembering Allah, always constantly, you know, never forgetting that Allah is not capable of anything. We always have this hope of getting better. So yeah, after a lot of struggle, and I accidentally I was at school, and I don't know what was happening, and I was like, oh yeah, I went to go check up on my dad at night, and my old friends, they were like, you went to go check up on your dad? And I was like, yeah, I had to check up on my dad. And they were like, why do you have to check up on your dad? They didn't know. I mean, some friends knew about he had cancer, but they didn't know what was actually going on, because I'm not the type of person to give updates that much on my life. I just kind of keep it to myself. So they didn't know, so I just kind of just slipped out that I had to check up on my dad every single day. Not by force, by will, because I wanted to, you know. It'd be nice sometimes because I would ease his pain by trying everything inside and outside the box, and then we would just start having these deep conversations at 2-3 a.m. It'd be really nice because he was just kind of like, you know, we were just kind of have these deep daddy daughter talks. Like, it would be really nice. Um, so yeah, it was a really nice time that we had. And then unfortunately, well, not unfortunately yet, in November we made a spontaneous plan to go back to Pakistan. November 2025. No, sorry, October 2025. So we went, you know, we were like, why not? 25th October we went, and we went for a month. We came back on the 25th of November. The first week was fine. He wasn't in pain. He was, you know, he had a good time. And then the rest, all in pain. Like, he started developing this new pain going up his neck and his head and his spine and his whole body and his ribs where his cancer was all spreaded, and he didn't even enjoy Pakistan. He spent it all the time. Even there, he had to get IVs, go to hospitals. So he was really tired. Maybe like you could kind of just tell that he was giving up. And then when we were about to go into like the flight from Newcastle to Pakistan, we were really worried, because we were like, oh my god, what if like his kidney pains come back, because we've seen him in pain and the pains just come randomly and they hit him, and they go really intense. So we were like just praying to god that it doesn't happen on the flight. Alhamdulillah, it didn't. The flight was really smooth. We met a family, it was really nice. And then 1 month later, now mind you, we've been to Pakistan a lot of times, alhamdulillah. This man has never cried. On the day that we have to leave, he is crying against his mum, in his mum's arms. He is crying. A 49-year-old man crying in his mum's arms. That's the first time I've seen him cry. The first time I've seen him cry was on Zainab's funeral, and I only saw him shed one tear. That's it. But this time he was proper full-blown toddler crying against all of his brothers and sisters and his dad and all of like his nephews and uncles and, you know, aunties and all that kind of stuff, because everyone loved him. He was a different piece. He was so generous, so intelligent, so amazing, so religious, just so kind, and you know, you felt safe in his presence. Like, he was amazing. Like, everyone who met him never had a bad thing to say about him. I'm so happy about that. Always be like, he was such a good man, he was so helpful, he was so kind, you know, he was so fun, he was such a jolly man. So, you know, I was really happy that every single person that knew him had not one single bad thing to say about him, which was amazing to me. And then we came back from Pakistan, and I just felt like something was gonna happen. So, because, you know, this is the first time that he's ever cried like that in front of his family, and the whole like house was crying. And you know, it was really emotional. And he kept saying, I'm not gonna see 2026, which was a lie. I'm not gonna see 2026. You know, I'm not gonna be there in 2026. All this kind of stuff. And we'd be like, of course you will. And then he would come back to England, and then he would say stuff that he's never said up. He'd say, England is so depressing, like I hate it here. He's never said that. He's always, you know, said alhamdulillah to whatever situation he is. But for the first time, he said, I hate it here, I don't want to go. Like, Pakistan was so nice and like, you know, happy and sunshine and all that kind of stuff, and here's just depressed. And I'm like, I don't disagree with you, like I get it, but unfortunately this is where we are. We came back on the 25th of November. Baba was in hospital on the 27th of November. He had, like I said before, in Pakistan, he started to get really bad neck pains and head pains, really, really bad. And he was in hospital, neck pain, insanely bad. It was so bad, like just tossing and turning and not staying still because of the pain. And crazy like amount of pain that he's been through. And RVI is insanely disgusting for this. Like, they made him wait 9 hours in the emergency section, in the emergency waiting room, just to get a scan done. Do you understand how in pain this guy was? He was on the floor, on Mama's like lap. He was all over the place because the pain was so unbearable. It hurt to stay still. It was that unbearable. It was so bad. And the doctor, after 9 hours, nearly 10, finally got him into a scan. In the scan, they found out that the cancer had spread to his brain, affected, was it the left? I think it was the left, all of like the left side. And well, my mom heard the news and she like obviously broke down. And yeah, first day he was tossing and turning around. He was saying stuff all over the place because his brain wasn't working, obviously. So and then second day he stopped moving, mobility almost gone. And he was, no, sorry, second day he stopped talking, like just stopped talking, just kept moving because the pain was really bad. Third day his mobility was gone, like he was just still on the bed. And the doctors just come up to us, my mom, they go, this is gonna be his last night. He's not gonna survive any longer. My mum broke down because she was like, we just came back from Pakistan, it's not even been a week, we came back and we find this. And she's just really shocked. She's like, how can this happen? He wasn't getting better. She was lying to herself, but you know. And they go, we don't have any more treatment for him, we can't treat him anymore, it's best to let him go, all that kind of stuff. My mom was obviously devastated. She was like, how, why, like, when did all this happen? It was all going so fast for her too. So this was in November 2025, and this guy shocked everyone, all the doctors, all the nurses, all our family, all our friends, all our relatives. They said that he was going to be completely brain dead. I don't know what's these doctors with the brain dead, but he said that he doesn't have much time left. He is going to die very, very soon. Maybe not today, if not today, tomorrow. Not today, maybe the day after, but no longer than a week. There's no way, not a week, no longer than 2 days. There's no way he's surviving 2 days. They put dexamethasone on him, steroids, 24 hours, because the cancer caused swelling and bleeding in his brain. And he was like, if it was just bleeding, we could have removed it, but because there was swelling in his, the cancer went in the brain, it spread it into the brain, we couldn't do anything. And everyone was like, he's not gonna survive. And the doctors were like, there is a 0.01% chance that he wakes up, and even if he wakes up, his memory is gonna be gone. You know, he won't be able to move his arms and legs and all that kind of stuff. But us being Muslims, we had to keep our faith on Allah because that's the only thing we can do. And we prayed so hard. Surah Rahman, Surah Yasin, Surah Baqarah, everything we could do to keep him alive. And the day that I found out that they have stopped his treatment, the words that I dreaded so bad, I was at home with my sister and I ran to the toilet to make wudu. I was shaking all over. I was like, you can't, Allah, you can't do this, you can't do this. You took my sister away, you cannot take my dad away, I cannot live without him. You just cannot do this to me. Like, you can't, okay, you can't. And I just prayed whatever I could think of. I just prayed to Nufil, and I cried in such that so hard. You I was like, I was shaking all over. I was like, you can't take him, you can't take him, like you just can't. I know I should be asking, like, just do what's best for me, but at that time those were the only words that were coming out of my mouth. I was so annoyed and angry at myself because my last words with him was an argument because he didn't want to go to hospital, and I was forcing him to go to hospital. I was like, you need to go to hospital because you're sick. You go to hospital, you'll get better, you'll come back home. That was the plan. Little did I know that that was my last conversation with him. The last words that he said to me was, Mirha, save me. Mirha, save me. Mirha, save me, because he didn't want to go to hospital. I was so devastated that day. I was like, this can't be how it ends. I refuse to let this end like this. And I guess Allah listened. This man shocked the entire cancer department, our entire family, entire friend group, everyone, by waking up on the 7th or 8th day. When my mom entered the room, she said, Assalamu alaikum, Adnan, and Baba turned his head around on the bed. He was like, alaikum salam. And it was such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful moment between them two. And it was so nice because Mama just cried, and Baba was like, what happened to me? And Mama was like, just an infection, don't worry. And alhamdulillah, 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 every single day he got better. I don't know how, but it was a miracle. It was such a miracle that happened. Every single day he got better and better and better and better and better and better. And he was sitting up, he was eating, he was talking, you know, he was doing everything a normal person can do. And we were like, how? Like, what? Like, this guy who is apparently supposed to be brain dead is now talking, eating, you know, talking to his parents, talking to his relatives. So we were so shocked, so grateful to Allah. It was like a miracle. It was genuinely a miracle. Like, we could not accept it. We could not say thank you enough. And then he got transferred to a hospice. Now, a hospice is where you keep patients that are on end of life care. It's basically, it's not really a hospital, but it's kind of like a home-like environment, and you kind of just stay there for your end of life and just kind of live. So he was transferred there, and we were like, maybe there's hope, you know, if Allah can do anything, you know. Us as Muslims, we have to keep our faith. We had no choice. We had no other options. That's what Baba taught us to do. So we did that. So we did that, and every single day he kept getting better and better and better, to the point where he was walking, point where he was, you know, talking to everyone, eating, getting up himself, you know, taking a bath, singing. He loved songs. Singing, just being his happy self. And we spent 50 days with him in the hospice. He was an incredible dad. He was everything and more that I could ask for. He was really everything. And I'm really happy because he got to meet his parents in Pakistan, got to meet all of his relatives. He got to meet people that he hadn't seen in years, because they all found out that he was in the hospice, and they all rushed to him from Japan, Australia, America, China, Pakistan, Ireland, literally everywhere around the world. Baba shook so many countries. It was so funny. To come meet him, people that he hasn't seen in years, childhood friends, talking about their memories together. It was so beautiful. So those 50 days with him in the hospice were the best because main thing, he was pain free. These 6 years he has been in constant pain all day every day. These 50 days, no pain, zero pain. Like, I'm talking just waking up feeling great and just continuing on with the day. Like, that's how it went. It was amazing, and we all just kind of shifted with him because, you know, we just kind of made it our little home. Every day we would wake up with him, we would sleep with him, you know, so it'd be really nice. Unfortunately, good things don't really last. Oh wait, and also, it was such a miracle when he woke up because Baba hadn't done anything. Like, by that I mean he didn't write a will, he didn't sort out anything that was needed to be sorted out. So him waking up and those 50 days in hospice meant that he could write a power of attorney, he could write a will, he could sort out everything that he needed to sort out, which was such a burden that has been taken off of my mom. Because if she had if he had passed away without those things done, it would have been such a bad thing, especially because in the UK, thinking of lawyers and courts and all that kind of stuff. So it was a really good thing that they all that got sorted out. But unfortunately, good things don't last that much. And on the 15th of January 2026, he started feeling really weird. He started going, he didn't sleep for 2 nights straight because he kept saying, Sana, if I sleep, I will not wake up. Sana, if I sleep, I will not wake up. He did not sleep. He refused to sleep, and he refused to let my mom sleep with him. He was like, he would be like, oh, you need to stay up with me. If I sleep, I'm not gonna wake up ever again. You need to sleep. You need to stay with me. You need to stay with me. Like, you can't let me go to sleep. But whatever you do, don't let me go to sleep. And he would wake up at 1 a.m. and be like, Sana, I see people. He's like, and we'd be like, who do you see? And he'd say, oh, I like some relatives in Pakistan. His sisters. I saw his sisters. I see you. I see my mother, my father. And we were like, why do you see these people? Who are you seeing? And he's like, I feel like he felt really weird, and he kept going, I feel like I'm not in this world. Like, physically I am, but spiritually I'm not. And we'd be like, what do you mean by that? And he's like, I can see you, I can feel you, I can touch you, but like, I don't actually feel like I'm in this world. Like, I see stuff. And he's like, and we were so confused. And this went on for days. And he kept going, I see stuff, like, and we would ask him, okay, if you were to go from here to home, how would you go? And he would say everything perfectly fine. He would be like, oh, from this roundabout you turn left, from this signal you turn right, whatever. He would be perfectly fine. We'd be like, what's the time? And he'd be like, oh, that's the time. And we'd be like, then what? And he's like, yeah, I can do all of this, but I don't actually feel like I'm in this world. Like, I feel like I'm somewhere else. And it just kept going on for days. And the 15th of January, my mom's parents were supposed to come to just help my mom because she was managing the house and she was managing Baba too, so it was really hard. She's managed it for 17 years with me, Fatma, Zainab, now Baba. Even when he was in hospital, she did manage him, like, all of it, but this time she felt like she really needed it. So she like, she had to just call them over. So that night, the night that everything started, she didn't sleep. She only slept for like 20 minutes because Baba would refuse to let her sleep. And the only 20 minutes that she actually slept was because my mum's sister got on call with my dad, and they just started talking, and then she was like, whatever it is, do not let me sleep. And my mum slept, and my mum's, because they were in Pakistan, so the time difference is obviously 5 hours, so he could easily talk to her, and they just talked, and he did not sleep. And even when we were awake, it was daylight. My mum and my sister would go home and make breakfast, and I would be with Baba. I would not be allowed to go to the toilet because he'd be like, no, Meha, you just have to stay with me. Meha, just hold my hand. Just do not let me even close my eyes for 0.1 second. And I was like, the lights are on. The nurses are here. I promise nothing is going to happen to you. Just let me go to the toilet. And he's like, no, you have to stay with me. You have to keep me. Like, he was like, oh my God, look, I was about to sleep. I was about to fall asleep. I was like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm going to try my best to figure it out. And I just stayed with him. I held his hand. I just kept reassuring him that you're fine, you're okay. And the doctors were like, the dexamethasone can do this. It can cause anxiety. It can cause, this to happen. Illusions, hallucinations, all that kind of stuff. So we were like, okay, this might be normal, but then we were also like, maybe he's seeing the afterlife. I don't know what it was because he couldn't explain it himself. So, I'm pretty sure in Islam there is this thing, correct me if I'm wrong please, but like when you're about to die, you start, like, the curtain between this life and the afterlife starts to shift. I'm pretty sure that is right, but please correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so that we might have thought it was that. And then 15th of January, my mom's parents came and they saw him, and I actually forced him to go to sleep. So you can't keep continuing this. If it makes you feel comfortable, I will be over your head all the time. I will be here. I will be holding your hand while you're asleep. Don't worry. I will be checking on you every 20 minutes, every 10 minutes if you want me to. I will be here in this chair next to you, next to his bed. I forced the nurse to give him some midazolam to help him relax, to help him fall asleep, and after 2 doses he was fine. He knocked out immediately, and I was just sitting next to him for 4 hours. And when he woke up, he's like, was I asleep? And I'm like, yeah, you were asleep for 4 hours. And he's like, but I'm alive. I'm like, yeah, you are, because nothing was gonna happen to you. You are perfectly okay. Mind you, this man does not believe in depression or anxiety, but I could see on his face that he was anxious, and he has every right to be anxious. So yeah, he was like, I love you so much, thank you, thank you for staying with me. And I'm like, of course, anytime. And yeah, and he let me go to the toilet, guys. He's like, fine now. So yeah, and my grandparents came and we had a really nice time with them. Yeah, and then those 3 days were really nice. And then Sunday came. My grandparents came on Thursday, Sunday came. Now, I was supposed to stay with my grandparents at home because my grandparents were staying here. My grandparents didn't really know, like, where everything was and how everything worked. So I was supposed to stay here, and then I got a really, really bad feeling. Now, I got this feeling when Zainab was in hospital. I got a really, really bad feeling, and I just knew something was about to happen. So I texted Mama and I was like, Mama, I need to come. Like, I don't care how I come, just get me there, like, ASAP. And she got me there from a friend of a friend, and no, from a friend, sorry. They dropped us off, and yeah, I just spent time with him, and he was deteriorating again. He was falling back asleep, and the doctors were like, he might pass away soon, or it might just be because at the end he got a water infection. So he was like, yeah, chances of him surviving now are really slim. So Monday morning, Sunday night, they were like, oh, he might not wake up again. Monday morning, he woke up again, and we were like, okay, let's just not believe anything the doctors are saying now. And he had a little bit of breakfast. He had some oranges, and I think he had some milk. And yeah, and then actually on Monday it was a doctor's appointment for us. So we have like a full checkup of a heart. So that takes about 6 hours, 5-6 hours. So we were at a hospital for most of the day. Left at 9, came back at like 2, and yeah, we got a call from my grandpa, and he called immediately, and we were just about to leave the hospital. He called and he was like, Sana, quick, come, something happened to Baba, and he doesn't understand English, so he didn't actually know what went on. So we were like, oh my god. And Mama was like, no, like, Allah, please don't let him pass away when I'm not there. Let him pass away when I'm there, please. If his time is come, don't let him go without me being there. And we rushed back home, and we found out that he was on oxygen. And mind you, back in November, when he deteriorated, he was basically in a coma for about 6-7 days. And his heart rate was really low. It came down to 47, 45, 46. It was really low, and even then he wasn't on oxygen. And now when he was on oxygen, we were like, oh no, like this is really starting to get bad. And we've seen a lot of people pass away in those 50 days. I think we saw about 6 of them pass away, and they were all on oxygen at their ending stage. And he was the youngest out of all. He was only 49, and he had oxygen on. And yeah, we would come up to him, and the only thing that we would ask is, do you want water? And he would just nod. And yeah, like Monday night going into Tuesday morning, Monday night we were all with him, and because we were all just surrounding him, just sitting with him. And Mama's like, oh, you should go to sleep because I'm with him. And the nurse comes up, and she's like, you all should go to sleep. Our experiences, nothing's gonna happen tonight. Again, nothing that you should trust. Nothing's gonna happen tonight. You can go to sleep. Like, our experiences that people like this normally last like a few more days before they actually pass away. So don't worry, nothing's gonna happen tonight. I will check on him hourly, all that kind of stuff. And we were like, okay. So me and Fata went to sleep. It was about 11:30. Mama went to sleep at about 1. Now, the nurse, this is a really beautiful thing. The nurse came in at 1:10 a.m. Tuesday, and she checked his breathing. He was still alive. He was still breathing. 1:20 a.m. Mama woke up with a check. Mom instincts, wife instincts. Her bed was joined with Baba, so she goes to Baba. She checks his breathing, and he's not there. And she rings. She presses the emergency bell, and the nurse comes, and and Mama's screaming, not screaming but crying a lot. She's telling me and Father to wake up. She's telling me and Father to wake up, and she's like, Mirha, Fatma, wake up. And the nurse confirms that he's not here anymore. And Mama starts screaming and crying, and she's waking us up, and she's like, Mirha, Baba's not here anymore. You know, Baba's gone. It was like the most traumatizing morning of my life. And it was the 20th of January, on Tuesday. He passed away on my 17th birthday. Yeah, and Mama actually, not, she just kind of said, what if Baba passes away on your birthday? Like, before it was a day that you looked forward to, and now it's gonna be a day that you dread. Like, if it happens, it happens, and look what Allah did. Like, on my 17th birthday, he passes away. But I couldn't have asked for it. I couldn't have asked his passing to be any different. Alhamdulillah, it was beautiful. Like, it was traumatic, but it was beautiful. 1:20, it was the Hajj time. That was already a really special thing. And second of all, on my birthday, like, how blessed am I that Allah chose my birthday to end my dad's suffering. That's the way I thought of it. I didn't think that Allah chose my day to snatch my dad. No, I didn't think of that. I thought, I'm so blessed, I'm so lucky, I'm so special that my dad is now at peace on my birthday. Like, it was such a beautiful moment. And the best bit of it all, like I said, my mum and dad never really correlated with one another. They had a 9-year age gap. They were really different from one another. But especially with Baba and cancer, it was a really difficult time because he would always be really frustrated, and Mama would always be really frustrated, and it was just two worlds trying to collide, and they never did. But these 50 days, these two lovebirds were insanely in love. And when Baba passed away, his head and his hands and his feet were towards Mama, and he was just towards Mama, and he was just like, he just passed away like that towards Mama. It was such a beautiful moment, because honestly, throughout Mama and Baba's whole marriage, Baba wasn't the romantic one. He wasn't the type. He would always, never words of affection. Like, he wasn't the type of person. That wasn't his love language. His love language was more caring, doing stuff and acts of service rather than words of affirmation. So, whole life, it was never that, lovey-dovey, all that kind of stuff between them. But these 50 days, if Mama went out too long, or she was at home for too long, making food or cleaning or whatever, this guy would call her 20 times and be like, where are you? Where are you? And she'd be like, I'm coming. And he'd be like, I miss you. Like, come on. Like, where are you? I miss you. I just want you to come. I just want you to, like, come here with me. And these 50 days were so beautiful between the two. Like, it's like, you know how they say when a man is truly in love, they will act childish? That's how he acted. If my mum talked to any other guy, he would get all jealous. So funny. He would get all jealous. He'd be like, why are you talking to him? And it was just really funny, really cute. And I saw their eternal bond. I saw their love. It was the most beautiful love story I could ever think of. It's an untold, unfinished love story for real. Like, after Baba passed away, literal Mama's soulmate, even though it didn't work out for a very, very long time, definitely worked out in the end. They definitely loved each other more than they loved themselves in the end. It's an unfinished love story for them too, but Allah has plans. Allah has it all. And obviously, my mom's really young. She's only 40. So, people might tell her to, remarry, all that kind of stuff. And Mama's like, nope, I am his and I will always be his. And I'd be like, that's really sweet. Like, you do you, whatever works for you, whatever you're comfortable in, all that kind of stuff. So, definitely their love story is untold, unfinished, I should say, but inshallah it will be finished one day. But he was the best dad ever. He's everything that I could ask for and more. He taught me everything. He never, if I said that I wanted this, he wouldn't think twice to get it for me. He would always be there. And I got really mad once. I was like, wow, when I needed him the most, like my hardest years were coming up, and this is when Allah decides to take him. And I'm like, no. If Allah takes something, He gives you so much more. Like, if He takes one thing, He gives you 100 more. So, I'm not gonna think like that. I'm gonna keep Baba's way of always thinking positive, always being there for people whenever I can. And I'm gonna keep this guy's name proud. I'm gonna keep it high. I'm never gonna let him down, inshallah. He was truly a different piece. He was incredible. I wouldn't trade him for anyone else in the world. But yeah, it's officially been 1 month since he passed. Every day gets harder. You think about every little thing that reminds you. Like, I have these shelves in my room. I'm like, oh, I remember when Baba installed them. And like this bed, oh, I remember when we went to go pick this out with him. Or like my badge for my sixth form, I remember me going into my first day of sixth form with him. I remember him picking me up from sixth form. Actually, yeah. So you remember them in every single little thing, in every breath, in every step, in every decision you make. Like, I've made a few decisions and I'm like, what would Baba think? This decision to share my story, Baba would always say, just do it. Like, what's there to lose? What is there to lose? You know my story now. I have nothing and everything to lose. Like boba tea, not really, sorry. And I would tell some of my other friends about like what happened, and they were like, you just tell it like you're telling the weather. Like, how are you not upset about it? I'm like, I don't know, it's my dad's training. Like, being like this is just an average day for me. Like, personally, I don't see it as hard. May Allah help me, help anyone who's going through a similar thing. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's really hard. And we kept thinking that after maybe one thing, Allah will, lay it easy on us. But after everything that He gave us, it made us stronger and it made us more devoted to Him, and it just made us the best version of ourselves that we can ask for. And I'm really, really, really grateful for that. So I wouldn't change my life at all. I love my life. Like, I love everything that I've been through. I love the experiences. I love everything that has happened, and I wouldn't change it. Like, this makes me me. After losing my dad, I realized that I guess just I don't know what I realized. It's weird. I'm not good with feelings, to be honest. Like, I always try to avoid them, but I realized don't leave anything until tomorrow, because you don't know if you have tomorrow. You don't know if I might upload this video and I might not be there the next day. You don't know. So don't leave anything until tomorrow. Like, I actually beg you, don't. My whole life, every single day, a new thing is happening. Whether, well, I think that's everyone's life. So please, if you wanna go do something, go do it without hesitation. You gotta learn to take the risk. That is the most important thing in life. Learn to take the risk, because that's the only way you're going to learn. You're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna fix them. Practice makes perfect. And my dad, he would always say, whenever something hard comes upon you, there's 3 steps. 1, you have to accept it. Now, accepting isn't just getting over the denial, it is actually living with the fact that whatever has happened has happened. For example, when my dad passed away, my first stage was to accept it. Accepting, the first thing that I had to do was get over the denial. Second, when I came back home, his bed, his things, his everything, I just had to accept that it was all materialistic. It was all just for show. The real life is, up there, giving myself, motivation, giving myself strength and all that kind of stuff. I have to be strong for my family. I have to be strong for my mom, who's been through absolutely so much. She's incredible. Like, props to her. May Allah give her strength, and may Allah give her a long, healthy life. Same to my sister, same to me, same to everyone. And yeah, accepting is the hardest stage. It's gonna take the longest. It's gonna take the most willpower. But you get through stage 1, you're gonna get through stage 2 and 3. Stage 2 is to ask for guidance. Now, if you are a religious person, you're going to ask it from Allah, from God. If you are not a religious person, then you can ask friends, get a therapist, just talk to yourself in the mirror. Like, just let it out, ask for help, seek guidance. And please, if you think that you are weak, or you are belittling, I cannot say that word, belittling, but you know what I mean, yourself, because you ask someone else for help, get that arrogance out of your heart, because it is not a good image. You doing this, you accepting that you have a weakness, is the strongest thing you can do. And then you getting over it, you learning how to get rid of it, is the best thing that you can do. And then the third thing is to move on. Like, it's the hardest and the easiest step of all. Like, just move on. There are 2 ways that I could have processed Baba's passing. I could have cried and become depressed and just kill my life and, kill my goals and my ambitions and dreams and everything, and I could just blame it all on Baba's death. Or I could get up, wipe my tears, wash my face, get up and work 18 hours a day. Get up and not give myself any room to think of what happened. with the 18 hours, I'm going to get myself somewhere. With being depressed and just, crying over it 24/7, I'm not gonna get anywhere. There's nothing wrong with letting out your emotions, let me clarify this, but letting your emotions take over you and your actions, that is where it starts to become a problem. That is where you lose control. So yeah, I think I'm on stage 3. I hope Baba's proud. I'm bringing his teaching along with me everywhere I go, and I'm gonna share it to you guys because I think it's amazing. It's gotten me through everything that we've been through, and it's gotten him through it all. So I've just cried so much. Again, I wanted to share the story for anyone who's going through a tough time. You're not alone. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I promise you, you're not alone. Like, you just need time and someone to trust, and maybe perhaps a shoulder to cry on. Like I promise things will get better. I promise it'll all be fine in the end. Even if it doesn't work out the way you wanted to, like, we wanted him to get better fully, but it didn't work out. It didn't go the way we wanted, but in the end we think he's in peace. May Allah grant him Jannatul Firdaus. But remember, whatever Allah does is for the best. Whatever Allah does is for the best. I've just repeated that because we have absolutely zero knowledge against Allah. His plans are way better than our plans. We have no right to be comparing with him. So accept it, keep your faith on Allah, and Allah will give you 10,000 more things in return. Like, I often think that if he was still to be in this world, he might have needed to go through so much more pain. But now that Allah has taken him away, he doesn't need to go through any of those medicines, injections, cancer pain. The most disgusting pain is the fear of dying, the fear of losing it. He doesn't know he's dead. He's gone. It's us that know. It's our turn next. So keep your faith on Allah. Keep your faith on God. And this was my story. Inshallah, hopefully I won't have another part of the series. For now I don't. But yeah, that's it. That's my story. I took the risk today. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, raw, unfiltered, totally a heart to heart, just me venting out to people I don't even know who's watching. But yeah, this was my story, and I really hope that I can become an inspiration to anyone, that I can become a role model to anyone, and I can help them go through their hard times, and I can give advice and just be there for everyone. Yeah, that was it. Assalamu alaikum to all of my Muslim brothers and sisters, and bye bye.